This cat went from the streets to a book and then to the big screen. His name was Bob, and this is the story of how a stray ginger tabby became a global symbol of hope. The city is London, a place of kings and queens, towering landmarks, and millions of stories. But for a man named James Bowen, London was a much tougher place. He was a busker, playing guitar on the streets for loose change and struggling with addiction. His life was a cycle of uncertainty and loneliness. Then, one day in 2007, he found a ginger cat curled up in the hallway of his supported housing building. Bob would sit on James's shoulders or in his guitar case while James busked. And something incredible started to happen. People who would normally walk right past James now stopped. They were drawn in by the sight of this calm, scarf-wearing ginger cat. They'd take pictures, drop coins into the case, and smile. Videos of James and Bob started popping up online. People were sharing them, captivated by this unlikely duo. The pair became a local attraction. Tourists and Londoners alike would seek them out just to see the man and his loyal cat. This newfound attention brought more than just bigger crowds. It brought stability. With the extra income, James was able to manage his life better. He had a reason to get up in the morning. He had someone depending on him. Bob wasn't just a pet, he was a partner. He gave James a sense of purpose that had been missing for a long time. The bond between them was obvious to anyone who saw them. Bob was always calm, a silent, steady presence in James's chaotic world. Then, one day, their lives changed forever. A literary agent saw them and was moved by their story. She approached James and suggested he write a book about his life with Bob. At first, James was hesitant. He was a musician, not a writer, and sharing his personal struggles with addiction and homelessness was a daunting thought. But he looked at Bob, who sat beside him, quiet and composed as always. He realized their story was one worth telling. It was a story about hitting rock bottom and finding a reason to climb back up. So, James began to write. He wrote with raw honesty. He wrote about the darkness of addiction, the crushing weight of loneliness, and the simple, profound love of a cat who refused to leave his side. The book was called A Street Cat Named Bob. When it was published in 2012, no one could have predicted what would happen next. The book became a sensation. It climbed to the top of the bestseller lists in the UK and then around the world. It was translated into dozens of languages, touching the hearts of millions. The success was life-altering. James was able to leave the streets behind for good. He moved into a proper home, a safe and warm place for him and Bob. Most importantly, he found the strength to overcome his addiction completely. He had a new life, a new career, and a future he could finally look forward to. Through all the fame, interviews, and book signings, Bob remained unchanged. He was the same calm, wise cat who had first appeared in that hallway. He'd sit patiently on a stack of his own books at signings, occasionally offering a high five to a delighted fan. He was the anchor in James's new, fast-paced world. The story didn't end there. The books were so popular that Hollywood came calling. A movie was made about their lives. Suddenly, James and Bob were walking red carpets, surrounded by flashing cameras and celebrities. Luke Treadaway played James, but when it came to the role of Bob, no other cat would do. Bob played himself in many of the scenes, once again capturing the world's attention with his quiet charisma. Through it all, from the cold streets of Covent Garden to the glamour of a movie premiere, Bob was the constant. He was a symbol of loyalty and unconditional love. But every story has its final chapter. In June 2020, tragedy struck. Bob passed away. The news was heartbreaking for James and for the millions of fans who had come to love the ginger cat. James described the silence in his home as deafening. The light in his life, he said, had gone out. The world mourned with him. Tributes poured in from everywhere. In London, fans left flowers, heartfelt notes, and candles at their old busking spot in Islington. A statue was later erected there, a permanent tribute to the cat who had brought so much joy and hope to so many. James once said something that perfectly captures their bond. He said, "Bob saved my life." It's as simple as that. He gave me so much more than companionship. With him at my side, I found a direction and purpose that I'd been missing. Bob was never just a cat. For James, and for the world, he was a second chance. He was proof that hope can be found in the most unexpected of places, and that sometimes all it takes is a friend to help you find your way home. The story of Bob is a reminder that every life has value, whether it has 2 legs or 4. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more true stories that deserve to be told.